And I'm so super excited to bring up our presenter for this internship, looking at and exploring internships, talking about the value of that. I told you, if you saw any of the promotions, that these are nationally recognized people that not only have experience and are super, super, super knowledgeable, but that really care. They care about outcomes and they care about you. And one of the people, I'm so super excited to bring her up, is Karrin Mayfield Felton. Hello, owner of
Hello.
LLC, who I believe is celebrating the second anniversary of Feet Planted LLC. And just this week, and you may have seen her if you were with us in September when we were talking about STEM. We had a powerful STEAM conversation about careers in STEM as part of our back to school programming. But just this week, I had the opportunity to sit down and listen and soak in wisdom from Karrin as she was celebrating the Feet Planted LLC anniversary, and really talking about how students, how people your age can get work experience, can get certifications, can get paid, and can get set up for futures that we can't even imagine yet. There are so many opportunities coming in the future. And so with that, I'm going to let Karrin come up in a moment, but I do want to introduce you to her if you didn't see her full bio. So Karrin Mayfield Felton is a life learner. She's a self-proclaimed geek, because I've heard her call herself a geek, with 20 years of engineering experience, technical leadership in both the private and public sector. So that's business and government side. Mm-hmm. And her career achievements have been recognized within the Department of Defense, who has money and internships, and industry in the areas of process optimization, human capital management. That's the human resources part that deals with jobs and internships as well. Data analytics, recruiting, workforce development, and program management. And she currently serves as the strategic advisor supporting total force and corporate operations at the Naval Sea Systems Command at the Washington Navy Yard. Prior to her current role, Ms. Felton worked for Amazon as a senior program manager, talent advisor, supporting business operations within student programs. I told you, a national expert. I told you that. In 2020, she served as the Science, Mathematics, and Research for Transformation, the SMART acronym, Scholarship for Service Program Manager under the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering. Any of those of you that want to get into government, and you can do that even in high school, you'll get used to some of these long acronyms. And her purview included there the oversight of policy development, budget execution, and overall administration of that national SMART program. Karrin encourages everyone she meets to lean forward in their purpose. Mm-hmm. In November 2021, she launched her small business, Feet Planted LLC, where she makes it her business. She makes it her business to detach students and professionals from self-doubt and to marry that with possibilities. And we are so excited to welcome Karrin. Karrin, I get to see you 2 or 3 times in a week. That just makes my absolute day.
Mine
welcome
too.
You too. Well, I saw you on LinkedIn. See, and and we'll talk about networking at some point. If you're around the Pathways to Excellence world, you will hear about networking and get some actual tools to network throughout your journey here. But I just saw that we were connected to some other people on LinkedIn this week, and so
we talked about you.
Talked about me too. Okay, yes,
great things.
Yes. So without further ado, I want to make certain that you all have drum roll. Yes, drum roll. Karrin Felton.
Thank you so much. I can say I have never been introduced like that, and I love it. I absolutely love it. You all, thank you so much, Erica, Pathways to Excellence, your entire team, for curating a community of knowledge, expertise for our young people. I have posted, I have tweeted, I have said, don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't let you know. If you're interested in scholarships, internships, career development, how to optimize your opportunities, you should be here. Parents, students, neighbors, aunties, uncles, all of y'all should be scooting up the television, your device right now. But I am so thankful and happy to be here. And I have a lot of information for you. So off the top, The reason that I'm here, one, is because I love Erica and I love what she does. Two, I'm here to inform you. I am here to prepare the soil. Everyone that's listening is the soil. I'm preparing the soil for growth. I'm preparing you to go out there and to get the coin, but to also understand how you can make a living off of what it is that you enjoy, whether it's technical, business, whatever it is, whatever gifts you have or gifts you want to develop. I want you to be able to go out there and do the thing. So, little commercial. Parents, for all of you out there, this is information and resources, not just parents, aunties, uncles, guardians, neighbors, that you can help guide your student in your home and in your community on how to take advantage of internships to get closer to purpose in their career field and in life, quite frankly. Students, I want to demystify some things about internships, and I want to get you prepared before the click. I want to get you ready before you click any button. I watched the session on scholarships, excellent information. I need to get you ready so that when you do press click and when you do apply, when you do go out there and seek these opportunities, you're ready. So let's go ahead and get started.
I just want to say prepared before
ahead.
the click. So that's going to be our theme, prepared before the click.
Yes.
Also note that just like the scholarships, the time is now. So if you're looking at summer internships, and Karen will get into this, some people miss out because they wait until February or March or April to apply.
Yeah,
the time is now. All right. So prepare before the click. Here we go. Let's go.
Thank you. I love it. You know, I love my little phrases. they're important to me. And they're easy to remember. All right, so let's get started. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about it. What is an internship? What is it all about? I'm not going to presume or assume that you know information about internships. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but we're going to actually talk about the definition of what it is. What do the stats tell us? There are statistics about internships, particularly for those in underserved and underrepresented groups, and just what's happening nationally. So I want to give you a framework so that you don't understand just how to operationalize, like how to do the thing, but you understand how to look at it and where you fit in that. Where do I start? These are common questions that I get asked often about where do I start for an internship? What do I need to do? And what are employers looking for? They're looking for certain skills, and we want to make sure that you have those skills or have experience in moving and exercising those muscles. And then, of course, the gold part, where can I find internship opportunities? We've already talked about the land of Google, but there are specific internships, as you've heard, in industry as well as within the Department of Defense. And then I have a slide on bonus tips to talk about self-discipline a little bit. And then we're going to save some time for some Q&A. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, an internship is a work-based learning experience. I've highlighted keywords so that I'm not going to read these slides to you. Work-based learning experience is meaningful work for a student to have the opportunity to work, earn money, and get experience and time with the career that they think they may want to go in, or an opportunity that they really already know, like, I want to work in this, as you're gaining experience through an employer and you're getting paid. The highlight in the first bullet also says internships can be unpaid. We're going to focus and lean in towards you getting compensated, but there are internships that are unpaid where you really just gain the experience and exposure, and there's a place for that too. Internships take place in a variety of different industries, and you get to learn and develop new skills. So it's not just checking the box on me showing up and imparting, like I'm good in cyber, or I'm good in computers. And yes, you're going to provide a service and use those skills, but you will also develop new ones. And that's really important about an internship, because there's some things that you learn, we call it on-the-job training, that you won't necessarily learn from the classroom. Next, an internship gives you a glimpse into life after college. So for those of you all that coined the phrase, adulting is challenging, it is. And so it gives you an idea. It allows you to see a company's workforce, allows you to see what it's like to come in to work every day, what that culture is like, what it means to get up in the morning. So you see your parents and your neighbors leaving at dark 30. You actually get to understand what that's like, or later on, or virtual. You get to actually hopefully see all of the spectrum in an internship. And then last but not least, let's be clear, internships benefit the employer because they're receiving your new ideas. They're getting an opportunity to work with you, a new person, a fresh canvas that's bringing diversity, ideas, creativity, new perspectives, and products, and to propel their products and services. So internships is always a two-way street. You get the experience, you get to learn, you get paid, and you get to understand what it's like to work in that career field. But trust and believe, the employer is also benefiting from your knowledge. They're benefiting from getting to know you. And the hope and the plan is that at the end of your internship, that it's a lasting experience, whether you enjoy the work or not, whether you like the work or not. Again, that's the whole point, so that you can learn what it is that you like and if this type of work is for you. So let's move on to the next point. So this is a sidebar, but I feel like to give you the total picture, I need to help you understand that there are other work-based experiences. My session and talk is predominantly going to be on internships, but I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that there are other work-based experiences out there. So there are co-ops, which stands for Cooperative Education Experience. You may have heard some of your friends, if they've gone on to college already, or some of your neighbors talk about, I just finished a co-op. Well, the difference between a co-op and an internship is that a co-op, you alternate that experience and job with your school. So you actually work full time, and then you go back to school. And on the far right, you'll see I have some benefits. And for this one, it's really based on your personal preferences and your goals. I know there's a parent out there that's like, not for my kid. I want them to go to school, spend that summer doing an internship. If that works for you, absolutely do that. You may also hear about apprenticeships. Apprentices learn hands-on skills through on-the-job training, and they gain experience and expertise in a particular vocation. It could be engineering, it could be a trade. There are actually apprenticeships for students in high school, meaning you have not graduated yet and you're not planning to for some time. So you can be in high school, 10th grade, 9th grade, really, all the way up to a senior, and have an apprenticeship and get paid while you're learning and getting those skills. Next, definitely not least, is volunteering. This type of work-based experience is more attached to social mission. It's attached to where you're giving of your time and your talents, and it's typically not paid. I still encourage everyone to volunteer and to lend a hand, support your community, support anything that is meaningful to you, your family, your values, because this can be done in conjunction with an internship. And it allows you, as you can see, as a benefit, to connect with your organization better. And I'm going to say it looks good on your resume that you are a person that can step outside of your needs to support others. And then last, research. This is another work-based opportunity where you are assigned to a professor, an academic institution hires you to do research at that school for their particular subject matter and discipline for the summer. This is amazing. Critical thinking, analytical skills. You're able to speak. You learn a whole new set of skills. I see my sister's popped on, so I'm gonna let her say something because I know she wants to.
And I just want to say we've done year-round youth programming, and so one of the recordings that we actually have in our library is specifically on apprenticeships with an apprenticeship person from the U.S. Department of Labor. They have an entire website, so I'll post that information there.
Oh,
but
awesome.
Apprenticeships are actually good for youth of all ages, and
Yes.
so even those career changers is something that you can look at apprenticeships to get paid experience as you're learning. And then the other thing I want to say is the volunteerism. For high school youth, especially, I know in Maryland, there are requirements that in order to graduate, you have to have so many volunteer hours. So I think that that's an excellent suggestion, Karen, to choose to volunteer with an organization where it also aligns with your potential career interests or things that you're wanting to learn about, so that you can get the work experience and check the box for your hours. I just wanted to add that in there.
Oh, please do. It's a twofer. It's a twofer. So you were validation for me, because I was like, I don't want to confuse people, but you just confirmed that this information is just as important. So I am so glad that you focus in on apprenticeships, because I think people forget that you don't have to wait until you're about to go to college to get these experiences. There are apprenticeships, and as you said, there are links and sites that you can do as a sophomore in high school, maybe even a freshman. So many opportunities out there. Again, our purpose is to inform and educate and provide you those resources. So here are some interesting statistics. And I took some time to look up, what's going on about internships, because you hear words so much, sometimes they become noise, and it's just like, okay, I got to get an internship, but you're not sure what that means to, I'm getting a message here, that what it means statistically. So at the top, half of students who intern complete more than one internship throughout their college career. So what does that say? That means you don't just have to have one internship. Half of the students, and this is in the United States, have at least two. So if you are thinking that, I may not have one, again, this is to give you perspective that there is competition, right? And there are students your age out there not dipping in the well once, but dipping in the well twice to get that experience. Further on at the bottom left, the blue section, almost half, 47% of students spend time working in a professional internship or career-specific work experience. Half of you, almost half of you. That is actually significant. And these numbers are good for 2022 and 2023. This was a surprise to me. Internships, again, I'm old and it's okay. Back when I was in school, it was a thing too, but I don't think that number was 47%. So what that tells me is that the word is getting out, and there are students taking advantage of paid internships specifically to hone their skills and to understand what it is that they might want to do. And so when we move closer to my little girlfriend here in the middle, she represents that 75%. More than 3/4 of students participate in experiential learning opportunities throughout college. That means that you don't just start as a high school student. You can do it in the summer of your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, all the way through, even after your senior year, depending on what is next for you. And it is an experiential learning opportunities throughout. That means that it is continuous. And the benefit of that, folks, let me just tell you, is that you will find that you may not like the career, the discipline that you thought you were interested in. Maybe you heard about it. You saw a YouTube video about it. You got an uncle or auntie that does that work, and they talk about all the exciting things about it. You've researched it yourself, and then you get on the job in that internship, and you're like, this is not for me. And that is okay. That's why it's awesome that you do more than one and that you gain that experience. So that's all I really wanted to say about that. So hopefully that helps frame up the conversation for you, that you are in good company out here when it comes to internships and gaining those opportunities. So this is one of my favorite slides. Where do I start to find an internship? I need all the parents, guardians, aunties, uncles, neighbors to scoot closer to the screen, because this is critical. Manage your online presence and reputation. You notice I didn't say anything about an internship. I didn't say anything about an application. You need to make sure that you clean up your public profiles, and that if I or anyone else chooses to Google your name, that there's information out there that's going to propel you forward. And the reason that this is important, companies will not advertise this. I'm going to tell you, and this information is for free. I work for an organization that will remain nameless. My entire job for the span of 6 months was to manage the people to go on your social media profiles. When you submitted an application and you were seriously considered, there is a team, our teams of people dedicated to doing one thing and one thing only, and that's looking you up and seeing who you are on social media, who you are, what's your footprint. Please do not risk your future. Do not risk your character with this nonsense. It's in red because I need you to understand it is important that your profile, who you say you are, matches the resume, matches the application, matches any information for your internship. The very next bullet is an opportunity for you to tell your own story. Interact online and consider creating a LinkedIn profile. I did some research, and you can create a profile as early as 16 years of age. An online persona or profile allows you to tell your own story. It allows you to talk about your beliefs. It allows you to talk about your opportunities in high school, whether you've participated in extracurricular events, hackathons, whether you've been in STEM programs, whether the accolades that you have. And it gives someone an opportunity to get to know you before they get to have a conversation with you. The reason why I chose LinkedIn, because there are other means, there's blogs. My young people are crafty and creative about how they're even marketing and starting these own businesses. So there are many different avenues. The reason I selected LinkedIn is because employers use LinkedIn. And there are men and women who recognize that in order to move the needle forward in business and technology, that the recruitment starts a lot younger than it did before. And so they're looking for you. They're looking for that young woman or man who is interested and says, hey, I participated in a hackathon every summer. You did? Really? Well, I'm about to launch this new software. I'm about to do X. Just pick a thing. And when they see that in your profile, they may reach out to you. Now, I believe my previous colleague already talked about some of the things to look for. So parents out there, if you are, this is something that would be a good partnership for you and your child, your niece or your nephew, to actually go on LinkedIn and look at some of the other profiles. I have mentored college students and high school students that have really nice profiles. They're professional, no foolery, and it's a really good opportunity to talk about and brag about some of the things that they have done. Networking. Eric and I talked about this at the top, talking to friends, faculty members, teachers, counselors about internship opportunities. I'm sure you could throw a rock at someone who works for an employer, and it doesn't have to be the big Fortune 500 company employer. It could be the electric company, especially if you're interested in management or business or being a supervisor. It doesn't have to be a technical field, even though there's a plethora. There's a lot of opportunities in the technical field, but you can start in your community. You don't have to necessarily always go the internet route. Just look around in your town at the municipal buildings, at the institutions, at the businesses and the small businesses to see what kind of services they need, what kind of help they need, and do they offer internships? And let me share this one with you. Sometimes an employer won't know that they need an intern until you ask them. So even if they don't have that opportunity, but you have a skill set that will help a business or help a company, they may consider creating an internship program for you, and you may be the start of something beautiful and big. Go ahead, Erica.
And earlier to your point of volunteering, especially if you choose some nonprofits, I have done this as a leader of a nonprofit, literally created internships, paid internships from people who started off as volunteers because they added so much value. So
see, I'm not telling stories. She does it herself. A lot of businesses do that because they want to pour into it and they want to give you experience as well as receive your talent. Remember, it's a two-way street. Research everything you can about a company or organization that you might be interested in. Look up their website, learn about their history, understand their brand. What do they stand for? And I say this because I've worked and lived long enough to have experienced it myself. There have been some opportunities that were good experience and that paid well, but they were not in line with my values. And it was a lesson learned. So I got the experience. My pastor says this: if you're eating the meat, take the meat, leave the bones. There will be some opportunities that you will find when you leave. This is like, don't need to go back there. Take the meat, leave the bones. You've got experience. Hopefully you got paid and you've learned something. And then last, conduct informational interviews. I can't tell you how many people are nervous about picking up a phone, and I can understand that. You're not used to maybe talking to someone that you've never met or someone that you've only seen across the keyboard. But an informational interview is an informal conversation where the person on the other end is receiving information and you're asking them questions about the job, about the company, about what they do. And I'll be honest with you, for leaders like Erica, myself, and many others, that is a part of our job. That's like mandatory. So you're not bothering them. That's actually mentorship. Those conversations are a part, it's built in and engrafted into the jobs that they do. So the slide that I'm going to skip to is this one, internship resources. If you have any questions about these links, I will be at my expo and you can come and ask me direct questions if we run out of time here. But I actually put a slide together with the links for several internships. The first one, 30 STEM internships for high school students. 2023, this is recent information. It's a really, really, really good list. The next bullet, DoD STEM, which is responsible for the SMART program. The SMART program is a scholarship for service-based program that has internships embedded in it. Actually sits up under DoD STEM. I need you to become familiar with that link because it actually allows for parents to search. It'll actually ask you if you are a parent, if you are a student, where do you live? Do you want an internship? Do you want an apprenticeship? Do you want to work for the Army, Navy? Like, you can slice and dice and select it a gazillion ways to nick down the specific area of study to even where you live. The SMART scholarship, free tuition, room and board, books, health insurance to the school of your choice if you're interested in pursuing STEM, to a college anywhere. They even created a program called the Dellum Scholarship for high school students. You need to please look at the SMART program. DOD, HBCU, Minority Institution program, internships. They're already ready. They're getting ready for the spring. Army Education Outreach Program, that link is there. And then Navy, I work for the Navy, has 2 STEM programs. One is dedicated for high school students, and the other is for college students. So SEEP for high school students and NREAP for college students. And I'm going to just rest here for this information and just summarize this slide to say that my bonus tip, we need self-discipline. I like watching Netflix, and I saw this show of a gentleman that said, you have to be strong in order to create your own current. You can't expect results if you just go with the flow. This youth summit, the roadmap is to encourage you and to just really help you understand that you can't just go to the flow. I need everybody to recognize that it's time to move out. It's time to take advantage of these opportunities, build competence, find a mentor, understanding your strengths, your underdeveloped strengths, which some people say is weaknesses, but they're truly underdeveloped strengths. Establishing good habits and understanding growth opportunities and knowing that you are the pilot of your career and the opportunities. And there are those of us like myself, Erica, many of the colleagues that will be speaking to you today that are here supporting you and are ready to help you wherever you have a point of need. And folks, this is the end of my presentation. Again, I'm going to be at my booth to answer any questions that you have. I'm on all the social media platforms. Here's my email address. If you have a question about anything, please reach out to me and I will be happy to help you. Thank you. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube so you know when I post content.